Di dapat ninenegosyo ang paninira ng buhay.
Sisira na ngayong buhay nila sa katataya.
Sana'y huwag nating gawing tanging sukatan ang benta, ang kita dito sa online sugal kung ang kapalit naman ay lalasunin pala ang pamilyang Pilipino. Hindi dapat ninenegosyo ang paninira ng buhay. Kakabit niyan, dapat tratuhin na ring public health issue ang matinding adiksyong ito sa online sugal. Ayon sa DSM-5, gambling disorder is a mental health issue. This means government must also impose on these gambling platforms an enhanced duty of care for our kababayan who are struggling with addiction. Tulungan natin silang makawala sa pagkakulong sa online sugal. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Risa Ontiveros. Now we go to Senator Mig Zubiri for his opening remarks.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I'd like to thank our chair, Chairman Erwin Tulfo, for very actively and urgently pushing for anti-online gambling measures. This is a big fight for an incumbent senator, and I trust that you'll be a strong champion against this social growing menace. Kaya maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. When I delivered my privileged speech earlier this month, I relayed a few individual stories of online gambling addiction and criminality to humanize the very real and pressing problems that we are facing because of online gambling. Today, we'll hear directly from some of these online gambling victims themselves. Their voices will remind us that online gambling is not just a policy issue. It is a crisis that destroys families, livelihood, and futures. We hope that their first-hand accounts will emphasize the urgency of eliminating online gambling once and for all. We have with us a family from Bukidnon who lost their son to suicide after he incurred an online gambling debt that he could not pay. He is one of among many Filipinos pushed to tragic and desperate ends because of online gambling. Just this month, again in Bukidnon, there was a police corporal who robbed a convenience store at gunpoint, reportedly for his online gambling. He stole 12,000 from the register before he was arrested. La Trinidad, a 22-year-old boy, was reported to have committed suicide due to online gambling debts. In Banbantayan, Cebu, a man was reported to have murdered 3 people due to an argument over online gambling winnings. And in Cebu City, an 18-year-old was arrested for killing a 45-year-old, also after arguing about online gambling winnings. I would dare to say, my dear friends, colleagues, and the Filipino people, it is possible that more people have died and criminality has increased due to online gambling more than pogos. That is blood in your hands to the operators and regulators. These stories reveal the ugly truth of online gambling. It is not at all just fun and games, as colorful advertisements would like us to believe. But I want to draw back from these personal stories for a moment so we can look at the bigger picture on online gambling. How large is the industry and how many people have fallen victim to it? Last time I talked about the shameful status that we hold now as the gambling capital of Asia, with 79 casinos surpassing Cambodia with 48, Macau with 47, Vietnam with 40, and South Korea 32. Number 1 tayo sa sugalan. Nakakahiya at nakakadismaya. At brick and mortar casinos pa lang po ito. With online gambling, baka lampas na tayo sa number 1. Online gambling is growing at an astronomical pace here in the Philippines. We just have to look at the gross gaming revenues for online gambling to see how fast the industry has grown in such a short amount of time. These gross gaming revenues, or GGR, to explain, is the gambling industry's metric that reflects bets minus winnings. It is in 2022 that we'd start seeing huge jumps in online gambling gross gaming revenues. The industry made a big leap from 8 billion during the pandemic or before the pandemic to more than double the year before. And in 2023, online gambling raked 33.16 billion, marking a whooping 414% growth in 2022. Last year was even a better year for the industry. Online gambling was making a gross gaming revenue of 131.7 billion. And for the first half of this year alone, online gambling has already made 106.53 billion in gross gaming revenues. Without a ban in sight, we can well expect this figure to blow up for another banner year for the online gaming industry. Mr. Chair, to illustrate, from 2020 to 2024, the industry grew by 5,564%. Unbelievable. And yet it is real. And yes, they can say that this is good news because bigger gross gaming revenue is bigger taxes, bigger contributions to national development. But that is a generous view of a dire situation because the truth is that massive revenue is from the pockets galing sa bulsa ng ating masang Pilipino, hardworking middle-class Filipinos, not foreigners, not rich people, just working class, regular working class people. Sa mga casinos, mga high-income rollers pa po yan. Pero sa online gambling, mga wage earners po ang nabibiktima. Mga jeepney drivers, mga tindero at tindera, mga stay-away home nanay, pati mga estudyante. At pati na yon, ang mga OFW galit na po dahil ang pinapadala nila nauubos sa online gambling. How do we explain the extraordinary growth of online gambling industry? The biggest culprit, Mr. Chairman, is the accessibility and ease of transactions. Napakaganda talaga ng integration ng digital wallets at mga online gambling sites. Napakadaling tumaya at mag-withdraw, mag-top up at tumaya muli. Kasi ilang click lang yan online, tapos na. Hindi mo na kailangan lumabas ng bahay. Napakabilis ng transaction, napaka-convenient maglaro, mag-scatter. GCash alone has a user base of 94 million people. That is 81% of our entire population. And of that 94 million, over 3 million users have availed of G-loans, G-gives, G-credit services. If you have GCash, Mr. Chair, or PayMaya, you might know that the whole section is dedicated to leisure and enjoyment. And under this umbrella, you will find a link that is labeled Games. Click on this and it will lead you out of GCash app and straight to the page of hardcore licensed online gambling operators. All this can now be used by using your GCash account. And if you lose and run out of money, all these e-wallets from GCash to PayMaya, walang problema. You can apply for GCash loans and loans in other e-wallets. Walang problema, tuloy ang saya. Mr. President and Mr. Chairman, Capistrano Intel Corporation ran a survey on online betting. They found that 64% of respondents are engaged in online gambling. No doubt the number of online gamblers in 2025 has gone higher. According to Bridges of Hope, a rehabilitation center, which is represented here by John T., with 15 facilities across the country, 7 out of 10 clients that they treat now are for online gambling addiction. Hindi na po substance abuse, gambling addiction na po. Another support group, Recovering Gamblers of the Philippines, also has seen more online gamblers come in for help. And in just 2 years, the composition of recovering clients changed from 60% online gamblers and 40% online casino gamblers rather, to 90% online gamblers and 10% casino gamblers. And according to the World Health Organization, every high-risk gambler affects an average of 6 people. Pamilya po nila yan at mga kasama sa trabaho. A chain effect of lives destroyed by online gambling. Mga kaibigang inutangan ng mga magulang ninakawan, mga anak na napabayaan. These numbers are only going to get worse and longer if we allow online gambling to go on. We need the political will to stop this. Even our neighbors, Mr. Chairman, Indonesia has already cracked down on online gambling. This month alone, they froze 26,000 bank accounts used for online gambling activities. The social minister even warned that many of their beneficiaries of their own Ayuda program has already used the funds for online gambling wagers and revoked assistance to these individuals dahil ginagamit ngayong Ayuda para sa online gambling. Like us, Indonesia sees that online gambling is targeting low-income communities. They saw the problem and they're now taking a hardline measure against it. Tayo po kaya, Mr. Chair, kikilos ba rin tayo o hintayin na lang natin na lalong malulong ang ating mga kababayan, ang mga pamilya mawawasak, kinabukasan po nila ay mawawala na po dahil sa online gambling sa Pilipinas. So I'm hopeful, Mr. Chairman, that this hearing will enlighten us on just how deep the problem runs and how we can find a way out of this. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat, Senator Migs. For the record, Senator Zubiri, we will be inviting GCash and other e-wallets companies next hearing. We now go to Senator Pia Cayetano for her opening statement.
Good morning, everyone. Today's hearing is important because it gives us a general overview on online gambling. Do we ban or do we regulate? This is the question before us. We have bills to outrightly ban and bills to regulate. What facts do we have on hand? Just 4 days ago, it was reported that a 22-year-old in Benguet committed suicide over online gambling debts. This is not an isolated case. There are other reported cases of individuals who have taken their lives because they were buried in debt. And there are also reports that online gambling is linked to money laundering, cybercrimes, and other illicit activities. There are also numerous reports of families being affected by online gambling. There are rising cases of gambling addiction and mental health issues, particularly among the youth and vulnerable population. In 2023, a nationwide survey revealed that 66% of Filipino aged 18 to 24 engage in online gambling, with frequent betting behavior leading to academic neglect, financial distress, and psychological strain. Tanong ko po sa lahat ng gagawa ng desisyon, sa lahat ng magsasalita, yung problemang bang ganon na 66% of Filipino age 18 to 24 engage in online gambling, did it exist 5 years ago? Did it exist 10 years ago? Meron bang ganon 10 years ago na addicted itong mga batang ito, 18 years old, imbis na nag-aaral, imbis na nagsusports, imbis na nagde-develop ng social skills, online gambling ang inaatupag. The DOF position is not to ban online gambling, but to impose stricter measures and impose higher tax rates on online gambling. Well, madali na maintindihin yun kasi kung trabaho mo, palaki ng income ng gobyerno, yan ang focus mo. So may data tayo to show that in 2020, ang gross gaming revenue was 12.91 billion. In 2021, 16 billion. In 2022, 30 billion, halos dumoble. In 2023, halos dumoble ulit, 58 billion. And in 2024, halos triple, mga 2.5 well, less than triple, but mga 154 billion. So from 58 billion to 154 billion in 2024. And kalahati pa lang ng 2025, 114 na. So kung wala tayong gagawin, siguro aabot na talaga to ng 200 billion. So yan ang income na nakukuha natin sa gambling. Is it worth it? Yan ho ang tanong natin. The position of those who are pro-gambling, just like government, is let's regulate. Regulate lang natin yan. Kayang-kaya natin yan. They argue that the gambling business will just go underground. But do we even consider that with technology, hindi nga ma-regulate ng maayos? We cannot even keep up. So anong i-regulate natin? Hindi naman tayo mabilis mag-regulate. Hindi naman tayo mabilis sa technology. In fact, research from a Filipino sociocultural firm revealed that nung naban ang isabong, nawala. Pero kahit papaano may illegal platforms, pero nabawasan pa rin. Nabawasan pa rin. And if we have the political will, ang US naban niya yung TikTok, bumalik lang dahil bumalik din si Trump. Ang daming opportunity na magban kung gugustuhin. How many young people will lose their way? How many families do we sacrifice? How many lives are worth the extra revenue to government? It is my hope that during this hearing, all relevant facts will be revealed, including the cost to every family who loses a breadwinner. Every family who does not have food to eat because nagastos na sa sugal, sa online gambling na napakadali. Every family who won't watch a child graduate dahil this child has lost their way because of gambling addiction. What is the cost to society? My final point. Inasmuch as my bill is on a ban on online gambling, I'll be listening intently to all the resource persons. As chairman of the Committee on Ways and Means, it is my hope that there will not be a need for me to call a hearing on taxation of online gambling operations because we will be banning outright. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Pia Cayetano. Next to give his remark is Senator Rafi Tulfo.
Maraming salamat. Maraming, sorry. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. I've been pushing for the total ban in all forms of online gambling. But recently, the government and some quarters ay pumalag ang nag-react, especially the PCOO. And they were saying na maghina-hina lang daw. And nagbigay sila ng dahilan kung bakit wag muna i-stop ang online gambling. Isa sa mga binigay nila ng reason ay malaki raw ang kinikita sa buwis. In fact, nagbanggit pa sila ng mga figures. The DOF gave an estimate, PCO, I'm sorry, Presidential Communication Office. Nagbigay pa sila ng mga estimates kung how much yung direct and indirect benefits and even economic benefits nakukuha ng online gambling. However, hindi binabanggit ng Department of Finance yung social cost, yung social harm. Nabanggit nga kanina ni Senator Mig Zubiri. Nagbigay siya ng mga figures, mga estimates. Pero yung DOF, hindi. Yung psychological harm of gambling addiction, health effects, household impact, criminal offenses related to online gamblings. Nandito ating PNP para magbigay ng data tungkol dyan. Hindi pwedeng gamitin ang dahilan na dahil kumikita tayo sa online gambling sa pamagitan ng buwis. Dapat timbangin din natin, isipin din natin yung social cost, yung social harm na dinudulot sa mga mananaya. At sino po itong mga mananayang ito? Mga masang Pilipino. Hindi naman po ito yung mga mayayaman na tumataya. Ang masaklap pa, yung mga mananaya, dinadaya pa. Marami na akong complainant na nanalo ng daan-daang milyon at hindi naman binabayaran. So, ayan yan example. Nasisira na ngayong buhay nila sa katataya, nalulubog na sa utang sa katataya at nung maka-jackpot, manalo, hindi binayaran. Lokohan. Di po ba? Kalokohan. Pangalawang binibigay na dahilan ng ating pamalaan ay yung magigirilya sila, mag-underground. Pag binawal mo yan, mag-underground. I-regulate na lang. Kung mag-underground, anong ginagawa ng DICT? Ba't hindi magbuo ng isang special task force na kasama yung PNP Anti-Cybercrime, NBI, para tugisin ito magigirilya? So, tinatanggap ba natin na inutil yung DICT? Siguro naman, DICT hindi papayag. Hindi tatanggapin na kami po ay inutil. Kaya, wag na lang po natin itigil yan kasi mag-underground sila, ma-overwhelm kami. Umiling na si Asik Paraiso, tama po sir. Diba? So, you can do your job. Do your job. Huwag kayo matakot sa mag-underground guerrilla na yan. Isa pa sa binigay na dahilan ng ating gobyerno ay yung employment daw. Of course, ako po ay pro-labor, being vice chair ng labor employment. Pro-labor po ako. Yeah, I know na 32,000 ata yung figures na binigyan nating gobyerno na nagkikinabang sa online gambling. Pero meron man talaga tayong paraan na para itong mga mawalan trabaho sa online gambling, maita-transfer natin sa ibang mga trabaho. Kung gusto, maraming dahilan, maraming paraan. Kung ayaw, maraming dahilan. Yung DOLE, pwede na mag-open ng mga job fairs. Nandiyan yung ating tourism na pwede natin i-boost para yung hospitality industry natin lumakas. In fact, pagdating sa tourism, sayang hindi natin nagagamit yung magagandang mga tourism site natin na alpasan na tayo na may ibang bansa tulad ng Vietnam, Malaysia. Nandiyan naman yung BPO na pwede natin paglagyan sa mga madi-displace, mga workers na online gambling. Nandiyan yung mga direct investments na pagagandahin natin siyempre ating peace and order para pumasok yung mga direct investors. Maraming mga complainants na pumunta sa aking programa na mga magulang, yung kanilang mga estudyante, hindi na po nakapag-aral, napupuyat, hindi na pumapasok, pumapayat na, hindi na kumakain dahil lulumpo sa online gambling. Kumukupit at an early age, mga bata, estudyante, 10, 11, 12, kumukupit sa kanilang mga magulang. Bata pa lang, marunong na makumupit, marunong magnakaw. Just imagine, paglaki ng mga ito, magiging hardened criminals na mga ito dahil at an early age, na-expose sila sa criminal activities, criminal acts, yung pagnanakaw sa mga magulang. Yung iba, nag-i-snatch para lamang may pantaya sa online gambling. Even yung mga matatanda, meron pa nagdidispalko, merong isang employee, nagdispalko sa kanyang employer. And that happens several times sa kanilang mga employers para lamang may pantaya sa online gambling. Yung mga husband na dapat binigyan ng pangpuhunan sa negosyo para gumanda ang buhay nila, mga OFWs, na nagagastos lang sa online gambling. Pag uwi ng mga OFWs, because ako po bilang committee chair ng migrant workers, yun po isa sa mga reklamo nila mga OFWs. Pag uwi nila ng Pilipinas after a 1 year or 2 years contract, 2-year contract nila doon, ma-fulfill nila sa Middle East, pinaghirapan nila, pinagpawisan sila, after na sila ay maapi doon, maabuso, maglinis ng mga kubeta para kumita ng 20,000 to 30,000 a month. Pagbalik nila, wala na silang abutin na pera. Why? Kasi nga po, yung kanilang mga asawa at mga anak nalulumpo sa online gambling. Isa pa po, sa sinasabi ng ating gobyerno at ng iba, strict regulation. Anong klaseng strict regulation? Ayan. Tuwing meron tayong mga problema, vices, i-regulate na lang yan. Pero palagi natin sinasabing strict regulation, wala rin nangyayari. And lastly, it's about time na pakinggan natin ang mga mamamayang Pilipino, especially po yung mga misis, yung mga ginang ng tahanan, dahil sila po ang nag-handle ng budget ng kanilang pamilya na napupunta lang po sa online gambling dahil sinusugal na kanilang mga anak at mga asawa. It's about time na makinig po tayo sa hinaing, sa tinig ng mga mamamayang Pilipino na nagsasabing no to online gambling. Walang exception. No to online gambling. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat, Senator Raffy Tulfo. Next will deliver his opening statement to Senator Rodante Marcoleta.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Ako po ay miyembro ng Iglesia ni Cristo, kaya kapag ako po ay nagsugal, matitiwalag po ako. Kaya alam na po ninyo kung anong posisyon ko dito. Kaya lang, bago po natin gawin ang dapat gawin, gusto ko malaman kung gaano tayo kahanda. Halimbawa, total ban. No, total ban ang ating napag-usapan. Gaano tayo kaseryoso? Kasi po, kunwari, yung online gambling platforms, naisara nating lahat. Paano yung wetting? Ako po, grade 1 pa lang ako, may wetting na sa amin. Hanggang ngayon, nandun pa rin po. So, nagsasara tayo, pero bukas tayo sa iba. So, baka mamaya sabihin ng tao, hindi naman totoo yung pinagsasabi ng mga senador na ito. Gusto ko po, seryosohan. Gaano po tayo kaseryoso na gawin natin lahat to? Kasi po, tingnan ninyo, sa public administration, meron po tayong mga key principles in public policy. Ang nakaakma pong key principle in public policy sa ganitong klaseng suliranin, yung pong tinatawag nilang Pareto efficiency. Minsan tinatawag pa rin itong Pareto optimality. Ano po ibig sabihin nun? It describes a situation where a state is supposed to allocate resources in a way that makes it impossible to make one very happy, but also making the other very, very sad. Tingnan po ninyo, in accordance with the charter and the governing board of the PAGCOR, yung earnings are distributed as follows. 5% of winning goes to BIR. as franchise tax. 50% of the 90% balance goes to the national treasury as national government mandated income share. Cities hosting PAGCOR casinos are given fixed amount for their respective community projects. Ito po yung pang corporate income tax. 5% of the balance after the franchise tax and national government mandated income share goes to the Philippine Sports Commission for the country's sports development programs. 1% of net income goes to the Board of Claims. Dangerous Drugs Board, 5 million a month. It provides funds for the implementation of comprehensive dangerous drugs for the establishment, maintenance, operation of drug rehabilitation centers, and the Sports Incentives and Benefits Act. PAGCOR is also in coordination with the Department of Energy, ay ini-implement po nila yung RA 9153 or the Renewable Energy Act of 2008. Patas mo yata ito, Senator Zubiri. Funding which will be sourced from 15% of PAGCOR's annual net income. Remaining balance of PAGCOR's income is remitted to the social fund to sustain the priority projects of the Office of the President. 50% of the national government share from PAGCOR's gaming income shall be transferred to PhilHealth to fund the Universal Healthcare Center. Paano po ngayon yan? Napakaraming tatamaan ngayon. Paano natin sasagutin ngayon ng biglaan sa ating mga kababayan to? Nang hindi tayo pagsususpetsahan na gagaling-galingan ng mga senador na ito pero baka wala ring magawa. Gusto nating iban talaga. Ako po, number one, gusto ko ring iban yan. But let's face it, bakit po naging salot ito, sabi ng ating chairman? Gaano kalaki yung salot? Bakit lumaki yung salot? Anong ginagawa ng PAGCOR? Ang PAGCOR po, sa aking pagkakaalam, kayo po ang may mandato nito, Presidential Decree 1869 as amended by PD 1993, Executive Order 260, at saka RA 9487. Whereas, sabi po niya rito, let me read this, Mr. Chair. PAGCOR's operation has enabled the government to identify the potential sources of additional revenue, provided games of chance are strictly managed and made subject to close scrutiny, regulation, supervision, and control of the government. Bakit nagkaroon ng breakdown ng control, ng supervision, ng scrutiny? Bakit sangayon ngayon sa mga nagsipagsalita ng mga kasama ko ay lumala ng lumala and we're facing a social ogre siguro. Ano po ang ginagawa ng DICT, for example? Kayo po ay magbabantay din dito. So ito po lahat pag-usapan muna natin. Sino-sino po ba ang may-ari ng mga online game platforms? Siguro po kailangan isubmit sa atin ang PAGCOR. Sino po yung malalaki talaga? Halimbawa po, sino ang may-ari ng AB Leisure Exponent Inc.? Sino yung may-ari ng Gabin Ventures Inc., GVI? Sino yung may-ari ng Playmate Leisure Solutions Corporation? Sino may-ari ng PhilWeb Corporation? 4 lang po yung babanggitin ko. I was informed that these 4 online gaming operators corner more than 80% of the entire market for this gambling operation. Sino po itong mga lalaking? Kilala ko po lahat ito, kaya lang gusto ko marinig sa PAGCOR. Isasubmit nyo po ba sa komite kung sino-sino ang may-ari ng mga gaming platforms na ito? Mr. PAGCOR, can you make a commitment na isubmit po ninyo?
Your Honor, we will submit the list and